Dharma Bites fam. Welcome back. And if you're new by any chance, allow me to welcome you to the little cozy corner of the internet. This is a place where your chai meets stories, devotion meets fun, and every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. I am Anisha, your host, and I'm super glad that you could make it here today. Before I take you on to today's adventurous trip, let me set the ambience for you. Picture this. It is pouring, pouring outside your house. You are curled up on your favorite couch or sofa. You got your favorite blankets wrapped around you like a warm, cozy hug. You got your favorite masala chai or coffee, just in case, in your hands, and you have a nice steaming hot plate of pakoras. Cozy enough? Now you and I, we've met, and we are diving into some beautiful stories from the past. Stories that feel like a warm hug. Now that is settled in, allow me to introduce you to today's adventure. We are halted for the second in the 7-part series of the Saptamoksha Puris in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, love is not just a feeling like most of us think. Love can be experienced in the air, in the water, in the people, in the beautiful architecture, on the streets, in the food, literally everywhere. If you were in Vrindavan, you would experience love like your home theater, 360 surround. Because in Vrindavan, it's a belief that even one entire lifetime isn't sufficient for you to explore this beautiful place. You could be born, brought up, and spend your entire lifetime there and still miss out on some beautiful places that Vrindavan has to offer. A new shade of love that you can discover every day. But worry not, I have handpicked 8 special places, 8 special jewels for you on this trip. 8 special corners of Vrindavan where Radharani and Krishna's love lives forever. So, from the secret gardens to dramatic ghats, from divine mischiefs to eternal devotion, hop on because we are going on an adventurous trip to Vrindavan. Think of this as you and I going on a food tour. But instead of momos and dosas, we are going to be binging on divine stories soaked in romance and bhakti. So ready? Crack a chai patter, snuggle in and settle in because we are going Vrindavan's hopping. Okay. Our starting point for this Vrindavan trip is Radha and Shyamkund. Radha and Shyamkund are like your power couples or power kunds or pawns in this case in the entire Vraj Mandal. They're like 2 souls who decided, nah, we are never doing long distance. Not now, not ever. Okay, but here's a story for you. It is believed that Krishna once killed a demonic bull by the name Arishtha. Now Krishna is also known as Gopala. He comes from the Gokulam, a family or a lineage whose livelihood is from cows. So him killing the bull in this case was a bit of a head turner for everybody. And our little queen Radha did not want to lose this chance to appease Krishna. So she did it by teasing him, you aren't pure now. You killed a bull, a symbol of dharma for your kulam. You're impure. Which means you cannot hang out with us gopis anymore. You have to first do a purification process. Krishna is like, oh, I see this is how this goes. Okay, challenge accepted. And he goes ahead and stomps his feet into the ground. And in the cavity of his heel that touched the ground emerges water from underneath. And hence was created Shyamkund. So Krishna does take a bath and then he goes to Radha and said, hey, by the way, you lose the challenge. I have purified myself. And you can't even dig up a pond by yourself. Please did hurt Radha a little. She said, "Is it? Now you are challenging me. Watch it, watch you lose." Krishna said, "Okay, go ahead, be my guest." So Radha and her Sakhis start digging a pond with their hands and the bangles. And soon, in that cavity emerged water, and that came to be known as Radha Kund. We all know how much Krishna loves Radha. So, in fact, when Radha did win this challenge, he goes on to declaring that this Radha Kund is more holier than the Sham Kund. Having a bath or a dip in Radha Kund is like having a bath in Krishna's love for Radha. It's like at this point you imagine and you wonder, isn't it a point that love always finds its way back? Because love isn't about being identical, it's about complementing each other in the best way possible, like Tom and Jerry, like chai and biscuits, like Radha and Shyam Kund. Okay, buckle up, because from Radha and Shyam Kund, I'm now taking you to one of my personal favorite spots in Vrindavan. I'm taking you to a spooky little romantic spot where magic is witnessed every day to date. I'm taking you to Nidhivan. To anybody who stumbles upon Nidhivan in the broad daylight, it is like this cute little grove. Of course, not Instagrammable, but cute little grove with twisted little trees. Absolutely normal. But it is in the night that things start to change. So, what happens in Nidhivan to date is in the evening, the priest will set the bed. He will put a few saris, cosmetics, shringar ka saman, the solar shringar ka saman, sweets, pan, water for Radha and Krishna. And then he shuts the door after the Mahaharti with 7 locks. Now here is the thing. Vrindavan is known for its temple and food and the mischievous monkeys. It is impossible to not encounter a monkey menace in Vrindavan. But would you believe me if I told that in Nidhivan, every day, nobody lets the monkeys away, or the birds away for that matter. The birds and the monkeys on their own accord will walk out from Nidhivan to give the couple privacy. Nobody is allowed to stay in Nidhivan after the Mahaharti for the night is done. And the next morning, the priests will open these 7 blocks right in front of your eyes. And what you see is nothing short of magic. You will experience goosebumps the way I did. You will get to see the sweets eaten, the water missing, the bed used, the saris draped and thrown back casually. That is a living proof of the presence of the divine couple. You can witness this every single day in Nidhivan, but make a note, this only happens right in the morning. So if you want to witness this, you need to do 2 things. You need to wake up and ensure you're in Nidhivan by a max of 5 o'clock and practice running, because that will help you to ensure you get your first row tickets to see this miracle live. Okay. From Nidhivan, we will hop on to our third place. Now, this could stir up a little controversy. I'm giving you a heads up. We all have heard of Radha and Krishna to be the epitome of true love. No love was as pure as theirs. But have you ever heard of them being married? Like, you can ask anybody, were Radha and Krishna married? And they'll be like, no. They were the epitome of true love, but never married. But let me break that myth for you. Radha and Krishna, in fact, did get married. And you can witness this place in the Braj Mandal. It's a belief that only whom they want can visit this place. So you are very lucky if you're hearing this. So the next time you plan your Vrindavan trip, definitely make sure you go to this beautiful place. This place is called Bhandir. Bhandir 1 is the name that you can ask for the locals. Now, when I think of marriage, you would generally imagine like this for a big fat Indian weddings with shehnais and like sangeet and haldi and mehendi and like thousands of guests, like typically something like the Ambanis or like your Kapoor marriages. But let me tell you, Radha and Krishna's marriage was simple, breathtaking, and out of this world. And here is the twist. Nobody gets to witness this. Nobody got to witness this. Yes, such a divine marriage, only three people were the witness: the bride, the groom, and priest. In that case, the priest was Brahma, the one who got this marriage done. If you have true love for this divine couple, and if you visit Bhandir, you will feel the divine presence blessing you. You can in fact see the Haman Kund, which was used, the banyan tree, which still stands as a tall, old witness to this divine couple merging into one. Another sight that you would not see anywhere in the world but in Bhandir is a beautiful scene of Krishna filling the hairline of Radha. It is a beautiful sight to see, which talks of the divine marriage, which is a one picture summary of the beautiful marriage. Okay, from Bhandir, I'm going to take you to a place which is considered the heartbeat of Vrindavan. I'm taking you to a place so special that to see the Lord, you'll have to wait, because you can never see the Lord in one glimpse. You'll have to have multiple glimpses to see this little beautiful boy. I'm talking of Banke Bihari. Now, the legend of Banke Bihari is absolutely interesting to listen to. He came on the wish of Haridas Maharaj. Haridas, as most of you know, was the guru of Tansen. And Tansen was the musician of Akbar. Nidhivan hold a very special place for Banke Bihari and for Swami Haridas. Haridas Maharaj used to sit in Nidhivan and used to sing and worship Radha and Krishna. In fact, he is believed to be the incarnation of one of the 8 Sakhis and one of the most important Sakhis to the couple, Lalita Sakhi. So Haridas Ji, when he started growing old, he could not spend the same amount of time decorating both of them, Radha and Krishna. I believe one fine day he complains to both of them, "Why can't you both come as one? It was so tough for me. I have to first dress up Radha, then I have to dress up Krishna. And if she doesn't like, I have to do it again. Why can't you come as one?" And the couple took mercy on this favorite devotee of theirs, and they merged their body into one and came Banke Bihari. Banke is bent or curved. So if you see the idol of Banke Bihari, you would see him standing in 3 bhangi, 3 curves or bend in 3 positions. It is believed that Banke Bihari is so mesmerizing to look at that a lot of times his idol has gone missing when devotees with true love glance at him. That's the reason they draw a curtain every few minutes so that Bihari Ji does not go running away after witnessing true love. If you were to go to Bihari Ji, definitely spend your time staring at him, conveying your wishes, because he is the ultimate form of Radha and Krishna. When you yearn for the divine with true devotion, the divine will leave no stone unturned to match your devotion. And our next story is a living proof of this verse. We are halting at a place that literally translates to Radha's beloved, Radha Raman. Welcome to Radha Raman Mandir. Just like how Bihari Ji and Haridas Maharaj have a history, our Radha Raman also has a history with another beautiful and a very staunch devotee. This devotee's one simple ask was, what if my 12 shaligrams merged into one? I would be able to decorate my Lord every day. The Lord could not reject this beautiful ask, and hence all the 12 shaligrams of this devotee merged into this little Radha Raman. But who's this devotee? This devotee is Gopal Bhatt Goswami Maharaj. Gopal Bhatt Goswami used to worship the 12 shaligrams, and after one innocent thought, he in fact did get or receive the Radharaman idol. Something very interesting you would see at Radharaman is you would not see a physical idol of Radha there. Instead, you will see a golden plate which is often recognized and worshipped as Radha. What is that story? It is a story for some other day, not for this trip. But do make sure you go to Radharaman. He is very close to the Nidhivan temple. So next time you go to Nidhivan, you could first attend the Mangala Harti of Radharaman and then rush to Nidhivan. Okay, now grab a tissue because the next spot we visit could tear you up a little. It would definitely make you go, "Aw, that's so sweet." The next place we are holding on this trip is Seva Kunj. This place has a very interesting legend to it. But before I give you the lore, let me ask you a question. We all know Krishna is a master of many arts. But did you know one of his art was makeup and hairdressing? Yes, he was your personal Javed Habib and your makeup artist. Yeah, he used that. But not for us, he used for Radhama. He is believed to come every day to Seva Kunj to do Seva for his Radha. That is why the name came Seva Kunj. It's believed that Radha and Krishna would meet here every single day, and Krishna would lovingly comb Radha's hair, braid it, put flowers, and doll her up. It's like today, if you visit Seva Kunj, it's filled with little shrines, but the vibe is the same. It whispers, the highest form of love isn't domination, it's devotion. Serving each other is in small, very small, but meaningful ways is the ultimate foundation of true love. I mean, who needs a grand gesture when the Lord of the universe himself believed in combing your hair and putting flowers? Dear gentlemen, please make a note. Okay, before I take you to the second last destination of our beautiful trip, I hope you had a great time. But let me ask you a quick question. We all know the birthplace of Krishna, but how many of us are aware of where Radha was born and where she spent her lives? No? Well, don't worry, I'm here for this. Radha was born on the banks of Yamuna or in a village called Raval. But that is not where she grew up. She grew up in a place called Barsana. Barsana is a small town atop a hill where Radha spent her childhood. This is where Krishna would come with his flute and where the two would play their eternal games of love and teasing. Barsana is famous for many things, but one of the most famous things of Barsana is its Latmar Holi. Among the many kinds of holies that one can witness in the Braj Mandal, Latmar is the most famous. And there's a reason this happened. It's believed that once Krishna and his friends wanted to come and play with Radha and her friends, but it was a strict girls only party. Krishna wouldn't take no for an answer, and he's like, you know what, hook or crook, we are gonna party with them. Radha said, okay, if they are gonna do this, we know how to drive them away. And their solution was a stick. Yes, a stick, literally. So when the boys came to play Holi, the girls drove them away with this stick, and hence came the famous Latmar Holi. Today, you can witness this where boys will come from Gokul and Nandgaon, come to Vrindavan and Barsana, and the female folklore will start driving them away with their lat. So the next time you go to Vrindavan during the Holi time, please do not miss the famous Barsana's Latmar Holi. Another special Holi that one can witness in Barsana is the Khilon ki Holi, or the Holi with toys. And this is special to the Radha temple of Barsana, where every Holi, a lot of toys are offered to Radha and they are thrown across, and people play Holi with these toys. So the next time you visit Gokul, Vrindavan, do make it a point to visit Barsana. Okay. On to the very last stop for our divine trip. I'm taking you to a place super close to the Barsana temple. I'm taking you to Mor Kutir. But before I give you the story of Mor Kutir, you need to know why and how did Mor Kutir's existence come. So the story was one fine day when Radha and Krishna are spending time together. Radha asks Krishna, "How beautiful am I?" And Krishna very innocently answered, "You are as beautiful as the moon, my dear Radha." Then Radha looked at the moon and she saw the craters, and the moon was not looking pretty with them. She gasped and tells, "You think I'm not pretty? You think I have acne scars? You're calling me as beautiful as the moon, and the moon has got these spots. So you think I'm also that beautiful with spots, is it?" And she became angry with Krishna. And Krishna said, I didn't. Radha says, "No, you told it. You mean that." She became angry. And she went and sat atop a hill. Now Krishna was like, "I never meant that." But he had to do something to pacify his beloved. So he is believed to call all these beautiful peacocks whom Radha loves dearly, transformed himself into a peacock and started dancing and cheer her up. Radha, who witnessed this, instantly felt happy. She herself turned into a peacock and they both started dancing, and hence this place, Mor Kutir, came into existence. So the next time you visit Barsana, don't forget to take a quick stop at Mor Kutir. And that, my friends, marks the end of our 8-spot trip in Vrindavan. From the quiet whispers of Seva Kunj to the laughters of Barsana, from the midnight mystery of Nidhivan to eternal ripples of Radha Kund, Vrindavan is basically the universe's way of reminding us that love never dies. It just changes forms. So the next time you're feeling stuck in deadlines or heartbreak or just blackness of everyday life, remember, somewhere in Vrindavan, Radha and Krishna are still dancing under the stars. Alright fam, that's it for today. This is where I'll mark the end of today's giant story session for you all. Don't forget to share this episode with that friend who's still dreaming about your soulmate. Or maybe that friend who just needs a reminder that love is real, magical, and worth believing in. This is Anisha from Dharma Bites, signing off with a smile and a wish. May your days be as sweet as the makhan and your nights as magical as Vrindavan's gas. And hey, don't forget, and don't go too far, because our next stop, we are packing our bags for Ayodhya, Rama's birthplace, and another divine chapter in our Sapta Moksha Yatra. Until then, keep your chais hot, your heart open, and your playlist full of divine love. Bye-bye.